Hi, I would like to record a video on a teaching that I shared last summer at the worship camp, and it was very powerful back then. And in the last few days, I was thinking about maybe I should make a video on the very same teaching, and I hope the Holy Spirit will give me the same message on this video as well. Thank you, Holy Spirit, for being here. We are just so happy for always showing up, and you never miss any invitation, and you're so welcome. And we're so happy to see you again. You're such a faithful friend, showing up all the time, never missing an appointment. We love your presence, and we love the way you reveal the love of God to us. Thank you for working on our brains, on our beings. Thank you for removing veils from our eyes. Thank you for shifting burdens and taking off baggages of lies and false responsibility off our shoulders. Thank you, God, for making yourself visible to us in a way we have never seen you. Thank you for revealing our true value now. Thank you for revealing to us who we really are. Thank you for showing us our real self, our God self, our self that is just like you. The self that looks like you exactly, the mirror image of your face. We love you, and we allow you to turn our whole world upside down with the revelation of who we are originally. The kingdom of heaven is like treasure hidden in the field. When a man found it, he hid it again, and then in his joy went and sold all he had and bought that field. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like a merchant looking for 5 pearls. When he found one of great value, he went away and sold everything he had and bought it. I remember in 2016, this is the verse I really had a revelation of. Like, at least I thought. I was bragged by the love of God. I had a series of awesome experiences of God, and there was a specific event at a festival in the UK when I told God that if this is your presence that's gonna come with me, then it's okay if I don't have a family, it's okay if I don't have a career, it's okay to cancel anything in my life. I just want you. You can make me live in a hut in Zimbabwe if it's that what you want. I don't care. I just want your presence. You can't tell me of anything that it hinders me in experiencing you, and I will remove it, because that's all I want, living in you and with you. And it sounds like quite devoted, and it was. I didn't know what I was telling God, but I meant it, but I didn't know. And but God knew, and he took it seriously, so my life really changed inside out. And when I went home from that festival, nothing was the same. And a lot in the following few years, I really lived that reality of the joy and liberty coming with surrendering all. And I loved giving up my life, and I was looking for something else to give up for him. Like I want to give even that up, and that and that. And it was liberating that there were so many things people taught me they are necessary for happy life or good Christian life or whatever. And I realized that almost none of them are needed. Like I'm fine with Jesus and exclusively with Jesus. So there was a joy of this revelation, like, yes, Jesus, you are the pearl of great price, and I just sell everything. And you are the treasure that I found, and I don't care. I just sell everything I have, and I will be only after you. But on the other side of the coin, I started to feel the pressure of like, I really need to give up everything so that I can have God. And I was like really looking for things to give up so that I can get more of God. That's how I thought the system works. I need to give up as much as I can so that I can have of God as much as I can. And there was some truth to it, but it brought with it a bit of pressure. Like it's up to me to wipe everything out of my life. And so the joy and liberty of the first discovery of this revelation slowly disappeared, and this pressure of I need to surrender enough to have God and give up things enough to have Him, as if it was an exchange. Like I need to give up everything so that He could give Himself to me. And yeah, there was some truth to it, and it was very radical and very tangible. But the pressure of it became larger and larger. At a point, I became depressed again, and yeah, there was such a burden on me because of that. And it's a long story. I won't tell you. In the Testimony of my Life series, I talk more about it. There was a series of events through which God has saved me this pressured season of my life. And the most significant point of this story is when I found it out that this verse is actually not about my love for God. It's not about my surrender. It's this verse of giving up everything for someone else because it values that much. It's not the story of my love for God. It's the story of His love for me. And you know, in John, we can read that we love Him because He first loved us. And that's exactly how this verse should be interpreted. Like, there is so much truth in you surrendering everything to Him, but it can only be a reflection. Your love towards God can only be and should only be a reflection of His love to you. You are a mirror. You reflect what reaches your surface. If you bathe in the streams of love coming from His being into your being, then you cannot help but reflect and leak love. And it's not about like, I need to love more. How can I love him more? Should I fast more, pray more? What can I do to, I want to love God. Like, how can I make myself love God? You can't make yourself love God. It's impossible. If he loves you, you will love. And if you don't let him love you, there's no way you can force love out of your being. So yeah, you are this mirror. And if you have this stream of love coming on your surface, you will reflect it from your surface. And there's no way you won't love if you allow yourself to be loved. And it is true with people, it is true with God. If you allow him to love you, then you will sooner or later love others and love God. So this story, when I really wanted to love him with everything, was actually just the result of my experience of him. And when I thought that that's the point of like making myself love him more, it didn't work anymore, because that's not how it functions. That's not what this verse is about. He wanted to love you first all the time, and that's what he's longing for right now, because he knows what's gonna come from you letting him love you. He knows the results. He knows how automatic it is, that when you let him love you, you will be full of love and you will leak love. He knows how helplessly you will get into this circle of love if you allow him to do the first step. That's his deepest longing. He longs for you to let him love you. That's the only point on his agenda. Would you let me love you? Would you let me love you? Would you let me love you? It will change everything. It will answer all the questions you have. Would you let me love you? That's the thing in God's mind. You know, when we come to him with all the things like, would you change this and would you change that, and I will really love you, God, if you make any difference in that area of my life or in that area. And we really mean it. But God stands there like that, like, oh, I have a better idea than that. The change is inevitable if you let me love you. Like, there will be so much change that you can't even grasp it right now. I have way much better plans than help you a little bit this part and that part of your life. Oh, if God, you would only help this and that. I don't want to help this and that. I'm gonna rock your world if you let me love you. So this verse is not just about how you love him. It's great when you feel like loving him like that, but it can only be a reflection of his love to you. And if it's not the reflection, but your effort to try to love him, you will feel burned out quite easily and within a few months, as it happened to me many times. So this verse is about him loving you first. He is the man who finds this field and finds the treasure in it and thinks that this treasure is worth enough to sell everything I own because I really need to get it. It is worth more than everything I have, so it's a good deal. I'm gonna be better off selling all I have and buying this treasure than having everything I have now. And this treasure is you. Yes, this treasure is you. God has found you under the layers of dirt, of sin and twisted thinking and lies and all that. And he said, that's how much you are worth. I'm gonna sell everything, all the glory, all the power, all the things I could do and I could be. I give it all up to get you. God has seen the treasure under the layers of dirt, and he said it is worth just as much as I am worth. The value of this thing I found equals the value of my being. And God came down with all of himself and gave himself up for you because he knew that your being and your life is of equal value to his. Sometimes we think like the Trinity decided to send down Jesus, like as if he was the new guy at the company, you know, who's just a trainee, and we can send him down. He can do the dirty job. When he comes back, everything will be okay, deal done, and we don't need to make our hands dirty. And that's not how it happened. I believe that all of God came down in Jesus, and all of God died for all of humanity. I think we think about the cross as if God just had compassion and sorry for us. Like, you're so messed up, I'm gonna come down. You are unable to function, so I need to do something for you. Like, you're twisted, and I need to fix that. And yes, we were twisted, and we needed a fix. But there is a deeper truth for him coming down. He didn't just feel sorry for us. He actually knew the truth about us. And it was based on the truth of our being, it was the most logical thing to come down and die for us. From heaven's perspective, it absolutely makes sense that God gave up everything, including himself, to get us, because we are the same worth as he is. No one ever gives a higher price for something than its value. And by God paying the price of his being for us, giving up his own life for us, he has shown that our being and our life is of equal value to his. The cross is not just feeling sorry for twisted creatures, is coming down and showing that that's how much you are worth. Jesus on the cross, nailed to the tree, is not the expression of his sorry for us. He was more than sorry for us. But actually it was his expression of our real value. You are worth of my life. He actually said that the very being of God is of equal value than your being. The very life of God is of equal value than your life. I don't know anyone who knew it. I don't know anyone who knows it. I don't know it. But I know that when I have a very little glimpse of it, and I believe just a little part of it, my whole life just turns upside down. Because, yeah, that's the truth. Sometimes we hear that, oh, I'm just a sinner saved by grace. God had sorry for me because I was so sinful. And yes, we were sinful. And yes, God felt sorry for us. But there is more to salvation than that. He knew that under the layers of dirt and ground and soil, there is something that has never changed its value. No matter how much dirt you put on a box of gold, it's gonna keep its value. And we can ask like, oh, then it's okay to do any amount of sin and nothing changes. Yes, nothing changes. Of course, God doesn't want us to destroy our lives. Of course, He feels sad for us when we destroy our lives with sin and bad thinking and things like that. Of course, He doesn't want us to destroy ourselves. He's a good Father. But the value of the treasure, nothing, it doesn't change a bit. No matter how much dirt is on it. No matter how thick is the layer of the soil that covers it. This merchant is God. And he's a good businessman. He knows the values. He was absolutely aware of the value of this pearl. Like, he was looking at you and said, this thing is worth as much as all of my glory, all of my might, all of my power, all of my life, and I'm gonna buy this pearl back with selling all I have, because this thing is worth that much. And we think that God has overdone this thing. Like, He could have sent an angel or something. He could have made a better deal than sacrificing Himself for us. Like, we weren't doing that well. Like, we don't think that God was a good businessman, like making this deal, giving up all of Himself for us. Like, can't you see, God, that the values don't match the value of your life and all you have and the value of our lives and all we have? And God didn't care and overpaid it. That's one truth. But there is an even greater truth. He didn't just overpay. He knew that he was making a good deal. He knew that the value of this treasure is the value of his own life. And it's worth laying down because the values match. Sometimes we think about ourselves as you would feel about a stray dog. You know, it is freezing cold, it's raining outside, and it is hungry, and you feel sorry for the poor thing, and you bring it home, give it food, like, oh, you're so lame, but I love you. But think God has felt about us the same way, but that's not how it happened. He has found a bride that fit him, that is just like him. When we are gonna all see the wedding feast and we're gonna be there, the bride, all of heaven will know that we are the best choice Jesus could ever made. It won't be like we are sitting in a corner like, oh, I'm so sinful. Jesus could have found someone better, but he has settled with me for some reasons. The court of heaven won't think about you like, oh, this poor Jesus couldn't find someone better. Like, I don't know why he chose her. Like, with that much glory, with that much beauty, he could have found someone cooler. Like, there are better matches. Like, he clearly didn't find the best, but if he loves her, yeah, it's okay. Like, if that's what he really wants, like, we won't hinder him being happy, but yeah, you know, there could have been better choices, but it's okay. No, all of heaven knows the value of the treasure. All of heaven knows that Jesus has found the equal bride who is just like him. Jesus said accidentally in John that you are God's. It's a bit too much. Like, you are God's. No, we are not. We are just sinners saved by grace. He knows. He created you. He must know that. He says that you are the best choice I can make. He looks into your eyes and he says, you are the girl I've always wanted. I was dreaming of someone, and when I saw you for the first time, I realized that you are that girl I was dreaming of. I didn't just settle for you. I wanted exactly someone like you. And here you are. That was my dream. I was dreaming of someone like you, and you are here now. I couldn't have anyone better than you. That's what I had on my mind when I was thinking of an awesome wife who is just as powerful, just as pure, just as glorious, just as beautiful as I am. And here you are. You are just as beautiful, just as pure, just as powerful, just as holy, just as majestic as I am. I found the bride who fits me, who suits me, who matches me, who is equal to me, who is just like me, who is of the same value as me, whose life and being has the value of my life and my being. I found the excellent wife. Sometimes we think about Jesus like the billionaire who marries his who marries the cleaning lady, like in the house, or the housekeeper lady. Like the billionaire gives one of his 1,000 houses to her, and he's okay with her. Like she was there at a good point in his life, and now he's okay with this wife. No one understands, but at least she's lucky. She's so much better off with this marriage than with any other one. So it's good for her, and for him, not really, but he can afford to have a very poor and miserable wife because he's rich enough to compensate for all the lack of the wife. That's not how it happened. Jesus came down for the bride because he knew who she was. She didn't know who she was, but he knew. He was so aware of what he was doing when he came down and died for his bride. He knew that her life is perfectly equal to his in value. And he will tell you over and over again until you believe a little bit of it. Your life is worth just as much as mine, and it was perfectly reasonable to pay the value of my life and my being for your life and your being, because that's how much you are worth. And I'm not exaggerating. I'm not paying too much. I'm paying the exact value. That's how much you are worth, and I'm gonna keep telling you that until you believe a little bit of it. Because when you believe a little bit of it, your whole life will be upside down. We believe that, oh, if I believe that I'm like God, I'm exactly like Him, I'm worth exactly as Him, then I'm gonna be so proud. I'm gonna be really looking down on people, and I'm gonna be like really, really posh and always like abusing power. But Jesus was fully aware that He was the birth of God. He was just like God, that He was God. And did He do that? Was He proud? Was He abusing His power? He was laying down His life. That's what He has done with the knowledge of Him being God. if you knew that you are God, if you really knew that you are just like God, you would act just like Him. And we believe that if we believe too much about ourselves, then we're gonna drift away. And exactly the opposite is true. If you knew that you are the same value of as the very life of God, you would be glowing. And because we believe less than that, well, we are just the sinners, we are just struggling through life, we are just asking for God's help to survive. And because we believe less, we experience less. And when we experience less, we think it justifies our belief. Like, I experience that I can't act like God, and it proves that I am not like God. But it's just the other way around. If you believe that you are like God, you would behave like that, and it would justify that your belief was right. We always reap the fruit of our beliefs. And if it's a wrong belief, we reap the fruit of that. So if I believe that I'm not like God, I'm just a silly, boring someone who needs to be saved somehow. And yes, of course I need to be saved, and it has been done. But if I believe that I'm always gonna struggle and I'm always gonna fall short of my expectation and God's expectation, then that's gonna be my reality. And my experience is gonna match my thinking. But if my thinking changes to the truth of my real value that has been clearly stated in the death of Jesus, like, that's how much you are worth. That's what was Jesus saying on the cross. Then I'm gonna act it out what I believe of myself. And if I believe I am just like God, I am the exact representation and mirror image of Him, then I can't help but act like Him. I can't help but bearing His nature and acting out His nature and behaving just like Him and loving just like Him and surrendering just like Him. It's all about Him loving us first. He has found the perfect match. He has found the one He has always wanted. And He looks you in the eye and He keeps telling you that I have found the one I love. I always dreamt of a wife like you. And here you are. Amen.